Mm.
Bringing the vision into a mission. This is Global Mission of Peace with GoldFish Report number 5. I am Radagast at your service with Louisa, our media outreach, and Sherry working for your right to know, and of course the ambassador, voice of the dragon, with his warm heart and keen mind. Addressing stories we want to look at, let's get started.
Well, thank you, everyone. I want to first address we have Sherry joining us here from Hong Kong, and we're going to have the ambassador explain why we have Sherry via satellite here in Hong Kong, and she's joining us. And we're going to get started also talking about that we really have at this point the 6th straight day of losses in the U.S. stock market, and the Tuesday with the stock market closing low, even though it had gained a little bit during the day, but it also closed again low. So it's the 6th straight day of losses, and maybe the ambassador would like to comment on where does he see this going. This is 6 days now, and it doesn't look like we're running into positive territory.
No, as I said before, this is the start of a collapse that needs to come before the new comes into place. And it's just like I said, it started a little bit earlier than everyone was predicting, and I think that was probably done on purpose to be able to make more money. And, it's like I said many times, is that we are heading into this new, let's say, the new era. And then the old era has to go out. But as I said before, now people has to pay attention because, as this thing's happening and as many media people is trying to label as the fault of China, this is, the scapegoat that they have been wanting to have for a long time. I don't think that mainly the problem is not coming from China. Maybe it's coming from what's going on and what's happening in the Federal Reserve in the United States for all these years. So I think that this is a part of a financial war. I don't think, I know, and it's going to be escalating, and we need to be very vigilant, everyone, to protect our own assets, our own money. And at the same time also to actually make the people responsible for these things have accountability. And maybe, Radagast can just tell what happened in China now, with one of these characters that was, putting his hands in a cookie jar.
Well, I would like to, breaking, Chinese police arrested Managing Director Xu Gang, ex-com member of China's #1 brokerage, CITIC Securities. And there's a tweet here by a fellow named George Chen. And one of the tweets, he says, CITIC in China is like Goldman on Wall Street. Can you imagine if NYPD arrested a top banker from Goldman's New York office? Chinese police just did so. And I just think this ties in a little bit with our last GoldFish report, where people did a citizen's arrest on a certain metals manager, and who wasn't paying them their investments that they were due. So they went and hundreds of them gathered outside his hotel, arrested him, and brought him to the police. And now, 2 days later, police have arrested one of the top people in all of Chinese banking. And just how different this is. And I know certain people think, like anything goes in China. Well, actually, what the thing we're looking like is anything goes in America. It's in China where we now see some people who had their hand in a cookie jar, taking people's money, getting arrested. And I find that rather refreshing, actually.
Mm. And I think also one important thing to put in place here is that we are a power not. And I remember not so long ago, it was a man who wanted to do a civil arrest on Tony Blair, and he was apprehended by his security people. But if it would be like a few hundred people coming there, I mean, it would be a problem actually for the security people to put them away. So I think that this is, a good tactic to use against the people that is aggressing on the population. It's basically, to go and, do a civil arrest on the people in numbers. and then maybe the police also has to start investigating the things. Okay, and the problem is that most of the people do not care about what's happening around them. And also, this is a thing that I want to talk about. For example, today, going through all the problems with the stocks crashing everywhere and the currencies, going down. And at the same time, also, it's so many murders. We had this homicide now on these journalists in the United States. You had people throwing hand grenades at the police, and you have people having, all this refugee crisis in Europe now, where people being tear gassed, and all over the world, and also not talk about all the homicides have been committed. The last days has been escalating tremendously. So it's something in the air that makes people extremely violent, extremely psychopathic, and it's a negative energy in the air. And I think it's important for us to be aware, why is it so? And maybe this, Lo, is also something you wanted to talk about with the strange lights that people are seeing all around the world.
Well, it's funny that you should say maybe there's something in the air, because when we all look up, there's an awful lot to talk about. I mean, we have everything from chemtrails to these strange beams of light that seem to be reported all over the planet at this point. I know that there's a lot of reports within the U.S., but, the chemtrails are real. There's been news. In fact, I believe it was a congressional committee the FDA, who had admitted that they're real, and now they are legally obligated to do something about it. So, but we are all over the world right now, and I want all of our listeners and viewers to understand that we have what the True Vision of Peace is about, is the ambassador's mission on financial tyranny and on ignorance, and not to be disparaging ignorance, but ignorance where people to really kind of get behind the scenes and understand how the world really works. And so there's a very big project that the ambassador has here, and this report is part of that. And part of that has to do with a large group of people who are involved in this, who have submitted business plans, who are trying to do something good for humanity, to create humanitarian projects. And so a group of our participants in this project are in Hong Kong presently, and we have Sherry joining us from China right now. And I'd like to get a little report, Sherry, on how are things going over in Hong Kong.
Sure. I'm going to say good evening because it's almost in the middle of the night here, so I hope I'm speaking clearly. I'm actually traveled from Hong Kong today to Shenzhen, so I'm in China. And I'm in the lobby of a hotel, and there are a lot of cameras around. So, but it's, pretty interesting to be here right at the time when you see at the front page of all the newspapers, these faces looking at the stock market, and it's talking about, stock market crash and all that's happening. I mean, when you're around in the streets and everything, you wouldn't really notice anything different as of yet. But I just have to say, one thing is the ambassador mentioned just earlier about, people say it's the fault of China, the stock market crash. But I think there's sort of a distinction between the fault, and China has, I think, a lot to do with it, but not in a negative fault way. I think that, and the ambassador can chime in and see if I'm on track here, but I think the Chinese are, and other world leaders and countries are tired of the cabal, and they're tired of the fiat money and printing money off of press that if you and I did it, we'd be in prison in a nanosecond. But they've been doing it for quite some time, and I think China, of course, they have backing. They have gold backing to their currency, as does Russia, and perhaps all the BRICS countries. Did you want to say?
What's the climate like there, Sherry? I mean, is there any kind of sense of concern about
Let me finish
affairs?
This point.
Yeah.
Let me finish this point. And so, in any event, I think China can say, hey, if the U.S. isn't going to comply and use gold back for their money and continue printing all this fiat money and creating all these problems on the planet, then we're willing to go down if that's what we're going to have to do to take them down. You know, they sort of work together. They're sort of mirrored. So I think this is kind of what's happening right now. And unfortunately, I guess it's something that has to happen if, you know, because they're not complying, you know, the powers that be that run the fiat money. Anyway, I don't know if the ambassador wants to chime in on that, but, and then I'll tell you about the weather.
Yeah. No, well, I think that is very important to see. Is like it is what you know. Like I said, it is a financial war, and basically this is the only way to bring sanity into the new system. Is basically by collapsing the old fraud system, and this is what we're seeing in front of our eyes. And of course, they needed just to make this so-called the China Black Monday thing, so that they have an excuse for not taking responsibility for their own actions. And this is what we were seeing. Now, also one important thing that I wanted to state is that I just saw that is more sinkholes today in China again that was happening, and it's a lot of sinkholes and earthquakes and tremendous negativities and you know, all around the world. And also there is something that Radagast was saying. We're talking about also something about the earthquake that was in Iran, which also looks very suspicious, and that just was taking place. So I think we need to be vigilant, and we need to be taking our governments and our people accountability, and we can only do that in groups and masses. And that's why I think this is very important. And also, like you know, Sherry is now you know, part of a you know spending eye-to-eye contact with the family, and at the same time also being on ground in China together with other groups. You know, we have been, it's the second group that has been going through the process now, and that is there. And I think that they wonderfully are doing things together. But not only that, tomorrow you guys gonna have a very special you know, treat also to, you know, which maybe you want to talk a little bit about, Sherry.
Yeah, you know, we're really excited. It's okay to talk about what tomorrow?
Yeah, just you can just explain. You don't need to go into details, but you're gonna go and do some reannuation technique together with, you know, with the family people at the clinic.
Yes, we're very excited. We're going to try this rejuvenation tank, which really detoxifies your body and you know, takes you back a couple of years. We'll have one member of our group who's actually going to stay on for a whole week and do it for an hour a day for 7 days. And the rest of us are going to give it a try because we have to actually head back to Hong Kong tomorrow. But we're very, very excited about this and this opportunity, and hopefully bring this technology through the ambassador to other places in the world, and hopefully the U.S. But just amazing to have these natural, wonderful technologies that exist that aren't really, you know, funding the pharmaceutical companies, but making us healthier. And so really, really going to be grateful to try that out. I just want to sort of mention something that just sort of hit me today as I was traveling through, you know, from Hong Kong to China, and just seeing all these amazing people and beautiful children, and you know, that really humanity is the treasure of the world. You know, it's not just gold or money or other things. It's the treasure of this planet is humanity, and I think we have to realize that. I mean, you can sit at a table with a bunch of pieces of gold, but you can sit at a table with a bunch of friends and communicate, or people whom you've just met from other countries, and communicate with them and learn from them, and have this feeling of, you know, camaraderie and everything. And I just think with everything going on in the world, we just have to just appreciate humanity and each other. And I don't think we have any idea of how amazing human beings really are on this planet, and they certainly are our treasure. But I just wanted to share that. Just really felt that in our travels.
And I think this was also one of the great subjects that actually the Red Dragon was talking to the first group about was basically that the souls is much more important, and the hearts is much more important than any money or gold or currency that exists. And that's where we focus on. We don't want to have this leprechaun type of spirit in ourselves that's just hunting the gold and the money and the treasures, because the treasures is, like you said, it's in the people and in humanity in itself. I think that's important to put the focus on, especially as we are set here to try to do an impact on humanity. And like I said so many times, that money is only an instrument. It's not something to be worshipped. It's not even energy. It's just an instrument. Okay. And how is it in Australia, Mr. Sanji man? Everything's good?
Yes, Ambassador.
Oops, sorry. What's
Hello,
going
can
on
you
with
hear
the
me?
markets there?
Well, it's been down. There's a lot of depression in businesses and stuff like that. The banks are still making billions. As one of our largest bank, Commonwealth, had announced just before this that they made 19 billion in profits. But where it's getting affected is what we were talking about last time, is the 401k1 managers, which is our super managers. They're playing with other people's hard-earned money, and again, linking with what Sherry was just saying, the real commodity, the real power, the real energy is the human energy, right? Like the work that human beings put in to earn this money. But other people, we empower other people to control our lives through that money instead of having power on it ourselves. And like the Black Monday, or the China crashes, everyone keeps blaming it. But China didn't have that crash. They had to have that crash because the rest of the world would not change from what America is doing, and people can see it. People are upset about it. This is why that AIIB banking structure has got so many European countries in it, the Western world. But no one has the power to go up against the old, and the old keeps doing what they're doing. I mean, we're looking at weird things like we've never had before, like lights in the sky, like beams of light, sinkholes, So there is definitely major things happening all around the world.
It's a good point what you said, Sanjay, because the central bankers pretty much look naked right now. Investors really don't know what to do, and they're still trying to hold on to this old paradigm. What they can't do, you can't really solve monetary policy, debt policy, with more debt policy. But it seems like they're going to try to do this.
Yes, and as Ambassador says, people's power, right? If people actually wake up in masses and take control of their money, right, then things will change. But while we feel victimized and let other people have power of our money, right, we can't win this battle.
Well, how do we wake people up? Because isn't that what we're trying to do here with GoldFish Reports, is to try to wake people up? And I think that that's all that we can really do, and I think that we're working really hard to do that. There's lots of interesting things going on in the world, and look, in science today we have space.com, who's trying to look for billionaires to colonize Mars, and why? And we can't even get along here. We're killing people here. We're pillaging the earth. We're
going to send half the population there.
Debt slavery, and now we've got to go to another planet. It's like, really? I wonder what the ambassador thinks about that.
No, I think that we are behaving as a virus, and we want to infect other, places. And I think that humanity has become a cancer to this planet, and now it wants to spread to other parts of the body and universe. I think, like I said many times, you remember the first time I spoke to you, Lo, you asked about the inner earth people. I said, why should we talk with inner earth people when we cannot even speak with our neighbors? And so I think this is very important, that we need to learn to communicate with each other. And you see that, this is a very important thing. I know it's getting late to share, so we should need to cut down this talk. But that's why we made this through a global vision that's coming now of peace, and also at the same time, with the GoldFish report. Now you have a goldfishreport.com where you can go and enter and look at everything that is archived, every program that is there is coming there. And you can communicate with us through that site directly with the people that's managed that to bring forward things that we need to discuss about. And also, this is also very important, is that we need to engage and to, and to communicate with each other. We have a few, people that we decided to make something which we call the Goldfish of a week. And basically then we're going to have a Goldfish of a month and so on and so on. And this is not by saying that this is the most stupid person that's going to be, elected to be there, or it's like an insulting thing. It's basically a person that shows himself to stay ignorant, and a person that basically doing things that is behaving in a negative manner. I mean, you have people, like, for example, we had an incident I saw yesterday with Donald Trump escorting out journalists, having security people moving out this journalist and like throwing him out from the meeting because he didn't like to talk to him and stuff like that. This is, remind me of, the old Stalin era type of mentality. And it looks to me that people should be careful, when this guy is acting like that before he even would become a president. Look what type of tyrant this guy could become. You understand? And I think this is very important. And like we look at the goldfishes of the world, we all are living in our own little goldfish ball. But it would be nice that people that is so viciously try to aggress on people and make their opinions and make their discussions and have their opinions as one. It would be nice sometimes, it's just a telephone call away, and you could have a discussion and have an answer to your questions. You understand? Or you can stay in a goldfish ball, okay, and stay ignorant and keep aggressing on people. And so basically, we will on Friday nominate the Goldfish of a week, when we're ending this week. And, we have some strong contenders. And basically, we will see, where, it will lead from there. But the main important thing is, like I said, is that let's work together. You understand? Let's try to find out the truths together and join together. It's like we had now a group of people that came to Hong Kong. They set up their, the structures, their businesses. They have, even had met with the family. People are in great spirit, working together. Some people had some problems, had some obstacles, but they work together and find the ways together. And that's the way that we want to do together, the family, to create a global humanity family where we work together to do these projects, to do these things together. And basically, I'm not saying that I'm some form of savior and I have a claim to be some form of messianic type of character. But what do I really try to say is that together, as I said, we are the creators of good and evil. That was the first program I did. This is what I was talking about. And so together we can create a paradise on this planet, or we can create a hell here. And I think that what, these people that has come now are true champions. They're spending things from themselves, they're showing the commitment, and they're doing what they're saying, and we're doing what we are doing together. So this mission we have succeeded together to build up together. It's not just that I did this and I did that and this did that and I'm the unique one. And now, we all did these things together. And this is what we need to do on a global scale. And also we have to remove this victimhood mentality and the lack mentality that so many people have. And live a prosperous life of happiness. Okay. And I think that's where we need to keep the focus a lot. And, it's like you said before, it was a report stating that Jesus didn't exist. And whatever, some evidence about that. It's like I said, that who cares? Okay. Now, the main thing is if he exists or if he didn't exist, the teachings that he gave to the people, okay, have made a great impact on many people in helping them. So that's where we need to keep the focus. You understand? And basically put focus on what impact he has done. Even if he didn't exist, he did a great impact on humanity in a positive manner. And some of his followers, of course, have impacted the world in tremendous negative manner too. But that's the way in every form of religion, because religion in itself is satanic. But the same thing is that because it's like a division between people. But the message that he came to give to the people and what is impacting the people, it doesn't matter who scientists will say he existed or didn't exist, or he died or he flight to heaven or whatever. It is message which is important, not this type of small details. And that's why I think it's important for us to keep the focus together on creating a better humanity and work together. All religions, all faiths, no one has what is called the patent of the ultimate truth of religious understanding. You know, even I myself realize that I'm a baby boy every day when I speak to some people, and learn more and more every day. And I think that's what we need to do. We need to learn more, and we need to be more smarter, and basically, you know, not being arrogant and think that we believe everything and we are the only right people, and, you know, I know everything and this other person doesn't know anything. And but, you know, that's what we need to do. We need to educate each other, and that's why also we're gonna set up our global education initiative, and that's going to be taken care of, and we're going to announce that during this week too. And also the same thing with True Vision of Peace TV, which going to be volunteers, which not going to be having the ambassador on whining. It would be other people talking instead, or doing their message and spreading their knowledge to people. And you know, and that's where we're coming on. So things are moving forward, and we're moving in the right direction. And I want to thank Sherry before you fall asleep there in China, or being arrested for disturbing people inside the lobby or something like that. And so I want to wish you a continuous good thing with your mission that you're doing there, and send my love to everyone over there. And,
we will.
And then we're going to give an update from you next time, how the thing was inside of this uvination box, huh?
Oh, absolutely. But we really are grateful to you, Ambassador, so much for really leading the way. I mean, you know, we're doing things that we're surprised. We're like, are we dreaming? Am I here right now? And just going through this whole process. And, you know, we're just so grateful to you to be leading this up, people doing projects that, you know, these amazing humanitarian projects that they've been working on, really, some people for decades. And now's just the time. Now is the time that we've all come together. It's people who never knew each other, just joining together and finding, you know, things that we have in common and ways that we can work together. And, you know, it really gives us so much hope for humanity in what we're doing. And again, we are just so grateful to you, Ambassador, for this opportunity.
You know, I have to say, we can't be more transparent than this, folks. And for the people who have been, you know, posting comments that, you know, they want to really know what's going on, they're saying, oh, this is just, you know, a sham. It's not a sham. You can see it for yourself. Here's Sherry. She's part of the process. We have her on from Hong Kong. She's in China right now, across the river there. And these people are really there doing this. There's real projects that are in the pipeline to be funded and are being funded right now as we're speaking. And we're going to have more and more people on our reports to talk about this process, because we want to document this. We want to document this. What? Radagast, what do you have to say?
Well, I would just like to say that not only we're taking the discussion from the Red Dragon family, which was so much a part of the conversation, and now we have our own family. We have the Global Mission of Peace family. I mean, as Sherry will attest, she's there with people that she met through this process that now feel like family. And even myself, as, you know, the host of the symposium, of course, with the ambassador, but the one, you know, I'm there for the length of it. And in the beginning, when I was first started making my Mod Whiz videos, and I would say, I'm Radagast at your service. And now here I am with this huge, wonderful, loving family at their service. And just how all this has come together, and how, again, the love, I would say the centerpiece of this whole movement isn't about gold hidden away in bunkers. It's about the gold we found in our hearts, the love that was there. Those vaults that got opened and allowed us to create the vision that we've now taken into a mission, and what we're going to be able to do with this, and the enrichment that has already come before the money started flowing. Our hearts were opened, and we've already been enriched much more than we ever thought we could. And this is something that so many people, I think, have missed from being on the outside. And part of the GoldFish reports is all, and especially this kind of sharing, is to let people know that this is a very meaningful and loving mission. And really, love is at the core of it. It was the love that the ambassador and the Red Dragon shared for humanity at large, and the belief that they were willing to hold for the grassroots people, that allowed this whole thing to unfold. And as it's unfolded, and people showed up, and then they just found out more and more about themselves, and just the flowering of this family. And that is what we have built. We've built a core family that's going to reach out into the world and create one big, wonderful family.
That's right, Radagast. And what's important to note is this transparency is the ambassadors saying there have been obstacles. We're not trying to express that this is perfect and wonderful. There's obstacles, there's challenges. A lot of people have their real life challenges in their day-to-day life, and they're still very committed to this process, to seeing this through and making it happen. And there's still going to be more challenges, and but we're transparent about that, because life is not easy. So there's no magic wand. Money, just because you're getting funded, doesn't mean all your problems are going to go away. And for people who have that disillusioned idea that money's going to solve all of your problems, you're going to find out that it doesn't. Sanjay, what did you want to have a comment at that? Have a go at that?
Yes, I do, but just want to make sure that Brother Radagast has finished what he was saying just before.
Yes,
okay.
I am finished.
Just to actually echo what the ambassador is saying, and what Sherry's saying, what yourself said, what Brother Radagast has brought up there, segue into what I'd like to say is, I feel so honored to be of service to the ambassador. I am so far away from all of you guys, from Europe, from Americas. I'm in Australia, right? And through this project, through this global family, we are now united. We are one. Right? I'm yet to personally meet some of you. I've met some people already. But as we talked about before, awareness and awakening and all these things, as ambassador representing the voice of the dragon, his whole mission is sharing his viewpoint, helping us, empowering us in self-refinement. This is the best service to the society. And with all this financial tyranny, it's not someone else's money we're telling people to worry about. Don't raise the voice for your neighbor's money. This is your hard-earned money we're asking you to wake up about. Right? It's your labor. It's your 401k. It's your future. It's your kids' future. Right? So we have obviously the GoldFish report where people can listen to and follow and wake up. As Radagast mentioned, the symposium. Right? So we have training and workshops. Again, also, like where Sherry is right now in China and Hong Kong, we have international gatherings that people come through the system of the education, as the ambassador is saying that he'll be announcing this week. People can learn like all over the world. And this is all part of that awakening, right? It's time that we awaken, changed our attitude, expanded our sensitivity to changing times by transforming our thoughts. Because thought-provoking life transformation is going to the base of this whole transformation of this era. This is an opportunity to wake up and call to seek greater understanding for building a better universe together. This is what... Yes, Ambassador, sorry.
One thing that's very important, because we're talking about something that people needs to awaken to, okay? you have the people that is say, oh, the fake ambassador of a fake Red Dragon family, of a fake this, a fake that. Okay. Now listen, the problem is this way. You hear my voice. I exist. Even if you don't want me to exist, I'm here. I'm present. I exist. I'm here. Okay. If you would wake up, you know, and would realize that your whole mindset of, you can go and call people fake, you can call people fraud, okay, and try to make that implanted in people's head. But I'm sad to say that I'm still talking here, okay, as well as people has met the other dragons, okay, and they are talking, they're very much alive, and they're very much real, okay. And so it's what we want to call us red dragons, we want to call ourselves blue dragons or pink dragons or whatever type of color we want to call ourselves. We can call us whatever we want to do, and we are very much real. So it doesn't matter what type of mindset you want to come from in your little goldfish ball, okay? We are here to stay, and there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it. But the difference is here is that people are talking about this and this and that and here and there, and I was there, I was there, and I was there, fine. You were wherever you want to be. But I'm not claiming these stories. The people are there themselves. People experience it themselves. I said when I came out 1 year ago, or a little bit more than that, I said that don't listen to what I say, see what we do. Okay, look at 1 year's mission from now with over 100 people going through the process and people actually being in China and Hong Kong and meeting the people and doing the things, and the project has been going and the things and the proof and the pudding has been there. And still you're going to have some people say, oh, the fake people, the fake people, fake people. Yeah, wake up out to bed. We are here, and we are here to stay. It's nothing you're going to be able to do about it. And you can complain and whine as much as you want. We're going to be here, and we're going to do what we want to do. And it's nothing you people are going to be able to do to stop that and block that. Okay? And the biggest evidence for that, if you want to find out if we're real, you know, I can come and pinch you if you like.
That's right.
And that is not a threat, that's a promise. Okay, so what I'm saying is very simple. Let's keep together, do the mission, and basically turn this vision that we had into a mission, and we will completely succeed to change this world into a better place. You know, even if some people want it or not, we're going to do it together. And I think that the people will be awakened to the message, and the message is peace, and the message is inclusion, and the message is love. And it doesn't matter what race you come from, which country you come from, okay? And, you know, that's the way it is. God bless you all.
Yeah, Sherry, did you have a comment about that large sound?
Oh, yeah, that was, somewhere upstairs there in the hotel.
Okay.
But I was going to say, I'd like to put forth a GoldFish challenge that if anyone has anything negative, as you were mentioning before, at all about what's going on or the ambassador, I'd like to challenge them to put in the hours that he's been putting in, which is more than all of us combined, and we're putting in a lot of hours. But I have never truly seen anyone be so compassionate and work so hard and put in so many hours for humanity and for helping us, and the patience is beyond, you know, because there's a lot to this process of what we're going through, and he's with us every step of the way and some. So I would just like to put forth that GoldFish challenge for anyone who has anything negative to say, that let's see them step up to the plate and do what he's doing.
Well, that's a good point, Sherry, because the people, there's been one particular person who it's probably going to be a strong nomination for Friday's GoldFish of the Week, who we're going to do a little expose on, because we really want to highlight that we want to invite people to make comments after listening to our reports. We want to invite you to make comments on what we're talking about, and you can know that you can share your points of view if you feel like we have a message that resonates with you. It's a point of view that you'll be at home with. If you want to make comments, then you can share them. You'll know that they'll be well received. But we're really only asking for intelligent conversation. We're not looking for bullies. We're not looking for paid trolls. You know, I happened to do some research on some of these trolls, and I found that they have statistics on them. And there was one troll that posted, there's a total of how many posts this person has. And one had 500 posts. I mean, I don't have that kind of time to sit around and post. So these are people who are being paid to do this. Another one had 17,000. That's probably a count used by multiple people 24/7 to just go and discredit people. So we're going to find out who you are, and we're going to do a little explanation, an expose on what you really have to say and what you have to offer, because there's a lot of people who are posting very thoughtful and very meaningful messages because they resonate with what we're trying to say, what we're doing. And you can join us. That's the message, is that you're welcome to join us. And we will take care of this report. We're going to have them every Friday, as the ambassador said, and then we'll have our Goldfish of the Month. And we're happy to take your nominations. So if you would like to put in the chat, or if you'd like to put under our posts, your nomination. It could be anybody. It could be a leader, world leader. It could be somebody who posts. You could be visiting our YouTube page, or our Goldfish Report page, and you could be viewing some of these comments, and you can comment on what other people are saying as well about the Goldfish Reports. So we invite you to bring your nominee to our attention, and we will look into it, and we'd like you to vote. We'd like everybody to vote for the Goldfish of the Month. So you can follow us on our webpage about who we choose as our Goldfish of the Week, and from there we will choose our Goldfish of the Month, and we will just continue to do that and expose the frauds and the trolls for who they are, and we will hopefully enjoy this process together. So having said that, please visit us at thegoldfishreport.com, and you'll find all of our previous reports there, and look for our future reports. And thank you for joining us. Does anyone have any closing comments they'd like to make? Mr. Ambassador?
Just have a continued good week, and God bless you, and let's pray for sanity, and that no one will be hurt with whatever happens in the world. Okay, please take care, everyone, and to next time, take care. God bless.